was noon. The sun scorched the earth. The roads were empty. Most people sought shade, but not him. He had an appointment, not written on any calendar but ordained by love itself. Jesus, the Son of God, sat by Jacob's well in the land of Samaria. He was hungry, thirsty, and alone. His disciples had gone into the village to find food. But Jesus wasn't waiting for bread to satisfy his body. He was waiting for a soul to satisfy with eternal life. Then she came. A woman, a Samaritan. She came not in the morning when the other women drew water, but at noon, ashamed, rejected, carrying invisible wounds heavier than her jar. As she approached, Jesus looked at her and asked, "Give me a drink." It was a simple request, but her response revealed centuries of division. She stiffened, surprised, and said, "You are a Jew and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink?" To the world she was a nobody. To religious leaders she was impure. To society she was broken. But to Jesus she was priceless. He could have demanded. He could have condemned. But instead he chose to love. He chose to stay thirsty, stay hungry, just to feed her soul with living truth. Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." The woman was confused but curious. All her life, she had been given scraps of love, leftovers of kindness. Here stood a man offering her something real, not to take from her, but to give abundantly. She challenged him, still doubtful. "You have nothing to draw with. Where can you get this living water?" Pain makes trust difficult, but love never gives up. Jesus replied with a steady, powerful voice, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life." The well of her past had left her dry. The well of the world had left her empty. Now a new well stood before her, offering endless life, endless love. A beat passed and the woman's heart softened slightly. She said, almost whispering, "Sir, give me this water so I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." Jesus looked into her eyes and saw deeper than anyone ever had. But before she could receive, she needed to face the truth. He told her, "Go, call your husband and come back." Pain flickered across her face as she replied, "I have no husband." Truth laid bare. No masks. No defenses. Jesus said to her, gently and affirmingly, "You are right. You have had 5 husbands and the man you now have is not your husband. What you have said is quite true." No anger. No condemnation. Only truth wrapped in mercy. Tears welled up in her eyes. Here was a man who knew her deepest failures and loved her still. Loved her enough to sit hungry. Loved her enough to stay thirsty. Loved her enough to meet her right where she was. Realizing he was no ordinary man, she said with trembling lips, "I know that Messiah is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Jesus smiled warmly and said, "I, the one speaking to you, I am he." The first person Jesus revealed himself to was not a king, not a priest, not the righteous, but a broken woman at a forgotten well. Overwhelmed with joy, she left her jar behind and ran back to the village. She came for water, but she left with life. She came hiding, but she left declaring. A woman once ashamed became the first evangelist to her people. And Jesus, you stayed hungry. You stayed thirsty. Because saving one soul was worth everything to him. The love of Jesus is relentless. It crosses borders, breaks barriers, and it waits, even if it means hunger, thirst, and rejection. For you, for me, for all who are willing to receive the living water. Will you drink?